Rifftrax. Never pick tracks where the riffs are missing. Why you always gotta pick Rifftrax? It's your lucky day, it's time for Rifftrax.
Hello, I'm Faith, and welcome to Faith's Take, where I talk about anything and everything that I find interesting. And welcome to episode 35 of Every Rifftrax Short Reviewed, where I take 5 Rifftrax shorts in chronological order, review them, and give them a rating between 1 and 5, with the points being good, great, awesome, fantastic, and spectacular, because I don't think a bad Rifftrax short exists. We got a fun group of shorts that really run the gamut today, ranging from nutrition, danger, animation, and more. So let's dive right into episode 35 of Every Rifftrax Short Reviewed. Number 171, Danger, Keep Out, from March 13th, 2012.
Well, I'm tired of your accident. Christine!
Ricky, voted world's worst human being 5 years in a row.
When you think of Canada, what do you think of? Maple syrup, ice hockey, and people who apologize too much, probably. But did you know that Canada actually has some of the most horrific PSAs out there? Don't believe me? Check this out.
I'm the sous chef here. With any luck, I should be head chef by next year. I've got this amazing fiancé, who I won't be marrying this weekend, because I'm about to be in a terrible accident. But really, I should have cleaned up the grease over there, and they should never put the deep fryer so close.
Yeah, that's the kind of thing Canada puts out to promote safety. Pretty sadistic if you ask me. Enter Danger, Keep Out, where we meet brother and sister Ricky and Christine. Christine seems to hate Ricky almost as much as the four-eyed kid in the lemonade stand short inexplicably hated his little brother. However, Christine seems a bit more justified since Ricky seems to speak exclusively in whines. Anyway, after school one day, Christine and her friend Mario decide to take a detour through a construction site despite Ricky's warnings, and based on the Canadian PSA we just witnessed, it goes about as well as could be expected.
Go for it, I dare you.
The makers of Danger Keep Out ask you to ignore our goofy font and take our message seriously. Thank you.
This is home now, Rick. And no, you can't borrow my camera. You always break stuff. I do not.
Do they live next to Cormac McCarthy's The Road?
Hey! Don't look at that.
Your face will melt like that guy in Raiders.
You don't want...
Ricky's powder blue lunchbox will endear him to the other
Go
kids.
play with your friends. Hi, Kylie. You know what? Big sister should be against the law. Yeah.
Same with Filipinos.
Yeah, wait, what?
Next week, the grades 4s, 5s, and 6s.
We'll be going on a trip to the country where you'll be able to go horseback riding.
But since it's Canada, your horse will be a moose.
Kylie, we're only going for the afternoon. I still hate bugs.
Okay, enough with the setup. When do these kids start impaling themselves on rebar? Kevin! What? I'm not looking forward to it. I just know it's inevitable.
You're not looking just a tiny bit forward to Ricky sustaining some sort of construction site injury?
Maybe we can.
Okay, a little.
Okay.
But you can't go there. Sure we can. We're not little kids. But Mom said... You tell Mom and your dog me.
I'm not kidding. I'll kill you and cut you into thin strips. Bye, Ricky!
But if I keep out, how the hell am I supposed to shake hands with Danger?
It's a puzzle.
Lose for sure. Wow! Check this out, Christine.
Gray stagnant water? Radical!
Oh God, no! She'll get her shoe damp!
All right, I have to get home soon to finish my book report on Bridge to Terabithia tonight.
Want to watch My Girl afterwards?
You know it!
Ooh, ladder climbing, along with turtle stomping and tanuki suit wearing, an instinct all Marios share.
Bombs away!
Yes, let me get a closer look at the falling bricks.
Wonder how much it costs. Millions.
So, $50 in US dollars.
After nearly falling off of concrete walls and getting smashed on the head by bricks, the duo explores one of the unfinished houses, and this is where the Canadian part of this Canadian PSA comes in, when Mario falls straight into the empty basement. After the lamest and most futile rescue attempt in history, Christine falls in after him head first, and then can do nothing but bleed out and wail for help. Thankfully, Ricky's not as useless as it first seemed he would be, as he and his fellow nerd friend rush out to save them with the help of the world's most well-tempered construction foreman, who then becomes a claymation version of himself to wrap the whole short up for us.
Hey, Mario! You're it. Try and catch me.
Wait, we never agreed on these rules, you deceitful harpy!
Ah!
The asbestos pile safely cushions my fall.
Got you, Christine! Oh, no, you haven't! I'll get you now!
Whee! Off to Narnia!
I can't move. My back really hurts.
The old fake paralysis hide-and-seek ruse. I've used it many times.
Here, grab onto this and I'll pull.
It won't work, Christine.
Your jacket will rip right in half because it's a cheap knockoff. There, I said it.
Can't reach it.
With every motion, I can feel my vertebrae pop like bubble wrap. But hey, thanks for the swell idea, Christine.
Still safer than the water slides at Pirates World.
And now, the montage of 33 Chilean miners going in one by one to try and save them.
We'll go get her. I think I know where she is. Come on, Kylie. Bye, Miss Robson. Bye, Mr. Robson.
Don't be long.
And don't tell us where you're going.
Dang, these blueprints call for the blood offering of 2 innocents. Now where the heck am I going to find those?
Do you see her? No.
An exhaustive search.
Well, hello there. Say, aren't you the little fella I saw here this morning?
Have you seen my sister?
No. Oh, you mean that red-headed corpse?
Took a shortcut.
Did you see which way she went?
Yeah, we can show you.
Okay, but stay close to me. This is a very dangerous place for kids.
Which is why I'm the only one who gets a helmet.
What was she wearing?
Blue jeans and a red coat.
Oh, blue jeans and a red coat. Well,
Good, that should help her stand out from all the other lost children on the site.
stick close, kids.
Kinda like the way your parents have chosen not to stick close to you.
Christine! Christine! Listen.
Can't listen. Too busy dying. Action, mustache guy.
Ricky!
I think there's someone down there.
You're on the line.
And whatever you do, don't either of you move.
Mario's way ahead of you on that
I'm really
one.
scared. Are you alright, Christine?
Your rescue only makes me hate you more.
Let's take a look at some of the other accidents that could have happened to Christine and Mario.
Each more gruesome than the last.
What? Here, Mario could have fallen and hurt himself.
Instead, he fell and hurt himself elsewhere.
Not only is it dangerous to jump off a roof, but Christine nearly landed on those nails.
Ruining perfectly good nails.
There was...
This is another nightmarish PSA in Canada's repertoire, and with Mike, Kevin, and Bill at the helm, it earns a 5 out of 5.
Our story so far, construction sites are more fun than Chuck E. Cheese, and you're a fool not to be at one right now.
Number 172, The Fish That Nearly Drowned, from April 10th, 2012.
And soon the youngsters were on their own.
Learning to drive, applying for colleges, getting divorced.
Married first?
Nope, just divorced. Fish lead a rough life.
Ah yes, yet another short of bland animal footage that a poor hapless narrator must pretend that he's a character within and attempt to make the made-up story sound as interesting as possible. In this case, the narrator portrays a fish named Silverus, who goes on to tell us the story of, surprise surprise, a fish that nearly drowned. That fish's name is Cockerel, and he's a special fish, and by special I mean poorly designed, as he's a fish that actually needs to breathe air from time to time. In fact, his kind of fish depends on air so much that he and his fish wife need to build an area completely out of air bubbles for their expected fish babies to live in.
Hello? You must be surprised to hear me speak.
His mouth is way off. I hate bad dubbing in a foreign film.
In our aquarium. Let me introduce myself. I am Silverus, the sheatfish.
A lesser Tolkien character.
And this is David, our great friend who takes care of us.
And occasionally gets super high and gives us names like Silverus.
This is Guppy.
Full name, Gupzanador the Bold.
And this one is Black Molly, who's also from Latin America.
I am more than just my race.
We all live as one. His real name is Fighting Fish, but we call him Cockerel.
No, we don't!
And even when there's plenty of water, he still needs air. He simply can't get along without it.
The world clearly wants him dead, and yet here he is.
Watch how he is going to use air to prepare a home for his new family.
Air? And I thought I was cheap.
First, David put Cockerel and his mate in a separate aquarium.
One with mood lighting and leopard print coral.
Father Cockerel and his mate spared neither time nor energy.
Do they have a lot of other stuff going on?
They didn't even stop to eat. And finally, a magnificent nest of air bubbles was built.
So magnificent you might mistake it for fungus and wipe it away.
Eventually, Cockerel's fish children arrive, and he and his wife need to keep them from literally falling and drowning to their deaths. Isn't nature amazing? After saving all of his kids who knows how many times, Cockerel returns to the main tank with all the other fish. But unfortunately, the fish tank owner David isn't just incompetent when it comes to naming fish, he's also incompetent to knowing which fish can live in the same tank together. Because while Cockerel was fathering his children, David got a second fighting fish, and wouldn't you know it, the fighting fish start fighting. In fact, their fighting gets so bad that David needs to place glass in the tank to separate the two. But once again, David proves he's incapable of raising other living creatures as the glass falls, leaving Cockerel trapped and drowning. Somehow, Silverius has control over David's mind and makes him rush home from a hockey game to save the fish, which he put in danger in the first place.
At last, the eggs hatched into newborn fish.
Even Mom said they were hideous looking.
Swim. See how he takes them in his mouth?
Ugh, phrase you don't want to hear in other contexts.
So they can get air.
I'm falling, help!
I'm falling, help!
Oh, I'm falling, help!
I'm falling, help! I'm falling, help!
But while he was away, a rival of his appeared in the aquarium.
The Moriarty fish.
This is now you know why they call them fighting fish.
Actually, I kind of assumed it was because they fight, but thanks for thinking I'm simple.
And since you still seem very confused, let me point out that these two fish are fighting. Why can't you get that through your skull, you idiot?
The end times are here! Why didn't I say it canned goods?
Look, our cockerel is trapped under the glass.
His pain is our entertainment.
Cockerel is starting to drown.
And another fish called dibs on his wife before I could.
Help! Help! A fish is drowning. David, hurry! Hurry!
I, Silverus, summon the easterly zephyrs to bear you this message.
So this dreadful incident ended happily after all.
David was checked brutally against the boards in hockey the following week and spent a month in the hospital teaching him a good lesson.
This short is one of my personal favorite animal-centric ones, and it gets a 4 out of 5.
But poor Cockerel.
Poor nothing. It was a good ride and I lived with gusto.
Number 173. Nutrition, the All-American Meal, from April 24th, 2012.
Cheese is an excellent source of protein as well as other nutrients.
Finally, a health film encouraging Americans to eat more cheese.
I don't know about you, but I enjoy my fair share of fast food, with Chick-fil-A being my personal favorite if you were wondering. And as an American, at least according to this short, I'm not alone in that. The short utilizes off-the-street interviews and some random Google image results. Back off, nutrition short. Goofy inserted images are my thing now. Anyhow, it teaches us Americans that we're a bunch of fatties for indulging in fast food too much and too often. Which I know is true for an actual fatty like me, but why lump all Americans into that statement, you know?
Join us as John Denver builds a hamburger with his mind.
How could this meal become so important in our way of life?
Do we all smoke pot for a living? Let's find out.
I don't have the energy, patience, or time to cook a real meal for my family.
I simply just don't love or care about them at all.
Because it's quick.
But forget about nutrition. We're about to blow your little junior high health class minds.
As one culture differs from another, so do their foods differ.
Which is why we should hate and fear foreign people.
Kabuki food, loud and colorful.
Buddhist food, boring but really good for you.
Food that comes in bowls, part of a worldwide communist plot.
What is a hamburger, french fries, and soda pop? Well, everything that we have, all of our objects, the house, the clothes, the car, all say something about us. And
for instance, my hair says that I'm a pedantic douche.
Fries and soda pops.
It says that we didn't take the time anymore to sit down to a decent meal, and the meal break with it.
Of course, I eat only snails and pig stomach soup.
For an hour.
Jay's J-burgers are made of Jay!
And the nutritional disadvantages of the meal most often served by all these quick food restaurants.
Oh, come on, who says quick
Among
food?
Other things,
maybe Canadians.
Nutritionists claim The meat has too much fat, and the bun has
the
lost
kid's eating with
valuable
someone
nutrients
else's hands.
due to the use of
The short goes on, attempting to make us feel worse and worse about the garbage we call food that we shovel into our bodies, even featuring a nutrition expert to hammer the point that hamburgers are evil and not fit for human consumption, and that our cars, yes, our cars, are to blame. However, the short does also seem to imply that every single American eats fast food for every single meal of every single day, so this might not be the most reliable source of knowledge.
And yet more and more people eat this same meal more and more often.
More clown food, more kids in clown clothes, even more clown music. Clowns.
You know, a lot of people eat that same meal twice a day.
Hell, some people eat it 6 times a day.
Sure, the hamburger and I can answer that in one word.
Ragnarok.
The automobile.
Oh.
It's accelerated our whole pace of life.
That's right. Our cars are making us fat by forcing us to eat more burgers.
Oops, sorry, just hit play on the old-timey college hijinks montage by mistake. Sorry.
Google image search results, the movie.
Foods such as lettuce and tomatoes also contribute important vitamins and minerals.
Wilted lettuce, doubly so.
Whole grain bun, lean meat, cheese, fresh fruits and vegetables.
These tiny changes won't make it healthy, but they will allow you to look down on others, and that's really what counts.
And finally, if for the soft drink we substitute juice or milk, we add still another source of valuable nutrients.
Burgers and milk, together at last.
And for companionship, communication.
Onions.
We're losing that now.
Corn.
We're losing.
Wilting, thus proving our point about nutrition. Kevin Murphy, enjoy some tea.
Hey.
After viewing this short, Henry Slinkman went out and bought 3 pints of oysters.
Never learn.
100 years from now, they will be looking back at us and say we have been eating a lot of junk.
Then they'll eat their tacos made out of giant Doritos.
This greasy short might be bizarre, but it's also hilarious, and it gets a 5 out of 5.
Pandas and psychedelic music, all the result of automobiles.
Which are the result of nutrition?
Now you get it.
Number 174, The Toymaker, from April 25th, 2012.
Well, it's just a good thing I wasn't him, boy, or I'd have given him a right to the right and a left to the left, and I'd
Life was hell before there were Muppets.
If there's something that shaped me as much as Rifftrax and Mystery Science has, it's Jim Henson and his puppetry. He's given us amazing characters, stories, and beautiful talent that's literally changed my life. But unfortunately, we're not here to see that. We're here to see this. Meet the Toymaker, a clearly unhinged man who's made 2 puppets, one with a spotted head and one with a striped head. The puppets love the fact that they are exactly the same, but when they start describing their looks to each other, they disagree on what their heads look like, with the spotted one thinking he's striped like his friend and vice versa. This is a simple exercise in perspective that's as old as dirt, and was done much better with higher quality puppets back on Between the Lions. Immediately, the puppets distrust each other due to their different paint jobs, despite the fact that they were best friends literally seconds ago.
How do you do?
Buy a toy or
I'm so
off.
glad you are here. I want to tell you a story about 2 puppets I made.
Signs you're entering a terrible conversation.
But when I put my hands inside them, they come alive and can do all sorts of things.
Like running for Senate or
Now,
burning a
when these
dead dog.
First started to move. What shall we do today? Would you like to build something with my building blocks? Oh, I don't know. You build something with my blocks.
Look, just accept the gesture.
Yes, and the same kind of hand. Yes, and the same kind of shirt. Yes, and the same kind of spots.
He mentioned my melanoma.
What'd you say? Well, I hope you give me credit for knowing the difference between spots and stripes.
Do I look like a dumbass striper to you?
Stripes, spot. Ha, how can I look at myself? In a mirror. Here.
Lazy spotters can't afford mirrors.
I do have stripes. That's what I told you. Yeah.
Can't believe I never looked in this mirror I owned before.
I'd better watch him. You can't trust people who are different.
The Nelson family motto.
Put something.
This is a pretty ridiculous scenario.
I totally agree.
The striped guys are clearly superior to those inbred spotted devils.
Wait, what?
It's too quiet over there.
Yeah, too quiet.
He's up to something. I don't want to fight him. I don't want to fight anybody.
Ah, a French puppet.
Their fight starts relatively small, building walls out of blocks and making noises, eventually escalating into scaring each other. Again, done way better in another puppet show. After both getting scared off, the short gets all existential on us by having the puppets realize they were built by the titular Toymaker. Both puppets decide that they'll have the Toymaker join them in their fight with the other puppet. But considering they went from best buds to hating each other in less than a minute, I'm pretty shocked that the puppets would want to join forces with a random giant man who claims he created them. The two of them start throwing hands, and when they're both practically bleeding out, the Toymaker lets them in on the fact that they are all three basically the same person, so they should just stop fighting. Both puppets completely ignore that their lives have been lies all this time, and decide that since they're technically parts of one whole being, they can love each other again.
Gordon Ramsay!
Now, what the hell?
I am a ghost.
Ah, thanks for clarifying. I thought you were a dried-up marshmallow.
Well, Stripe season. Boo!
Apparently puppets are terrified of dogs and yogurt raisins.
I need help!
Matthew McConaughey, where are you?
I made you. You did? Yes.
Oh, so my whole world's a dumb god allegory. Thanks a lot, C.S. Lewis.
Do you like? I can't fight no ghost.
That's not how the song goes.
I'm climbing this hill. Wait a minute.
What happened to my
Hills
voice?
can't talk. You will be right behind me.
Oh, I'll be closer than that.
Good.
Your soul is mine, puppet.
I want to Toreador.
Yes, men often march into battle with the bullfighters song.
There, victory is mine.
Ow! Ow! Cut it out!
Now this is what I call a puppet show.
Not that! What happened?
My ribs, they feel like gravel.
What went wrong? Then why didn't you help me beat Stripes?
Because I'm on his side, too.
And thanks to complex international
You are?
betting, I make a bundle either
course.
way.
Stripes, go over and hit Spot.
Wait, their
Now,
names
wait
are
a minute.
Stripes and Spots, and they never noticed the Stripes versus Spots things before?
Go ahead.
Family names. Total
Stripe.
coincidence.
Sure. It's my little head, and my little hands, and my little shirt, and my...
At 11:14 a.m. on March 6,
And
1982,
your
Stripes became
arm.
self-aware.
And... Hey, Spots! We're all one thing. You, me, and the Toymaker.
We're all one great big mistake.
When you hit... I am you, you are me, we are each other, and it's fun to be.
Gave me a flashback to the Barney song, which was still somehow more enjoyable than what just happened here.
This short is absolutely ridiculous, and between the insanity on screen and the riffs in our ears, this one earns a 5 out of 5.
Oh my, this playful puppet show has turned into a brutal display of racial violence that would make even the fight scene from They Live blush. That's They Live, starring the WWF's own Rowdy Roddy Piper.
Did your Mean Gene impression just time travel to promote a movie from 1988?
Look, it's a weird short, okay?
Number 175, Dinosaurs, The Age of the Terrible Lizard, from May 3rd, 2012.
That may have been one reason why dinosaurs died. Yet, we don't know for sure.
Tell Barney Rubble his wife's hot.
The shortest short on today's roster, at only about 6 minutes, this poorly animated display of dinosaurs chasing each other around pretty much revolves around how dinosaurs ate and fought with each other, with absolutely no plot, story, or discernible characters to speak of.
Some walked on two legs. Others looked like big turtles. And some looked like alligators.
Guy on the right's got some sweet gams.
They were reptiles. And they were hatched from eggs.
They have that in common with Kathy Griffin.
Dinosaurs were flesh. This is no dinosaur. He's a dinosaur dinner.
Stop prejudging the situation. You don't know me or my skills.
Dinosaurs, which weren't very good at catching their meals, gradually began eating plants.
Plants were the lean cuisines of the Mesozoic era.
A Brontosaurus was as big as 6 elephants. And his cousin, Brachiosaurus, was even bigger.
His cousin Dan,
They
even
were so
bigger
heavy,
still.
They lived mostly in the water. Another good reason to stay in the water was because meat-eating dinosaurs had been getting bigger and meaner over the years.
Oh, I'm an efficient hunter, so I'm mean. You are a racist, pal.
With the short this short with no story or characters to be seen, there's not much to say about this one other than it's great riffing fodder. The animation's poor, the dinosaurs all look super goofy, and we learn absolutely nothing here that we couldn't learn from just rewatching Jurassic Park.
Just went to the salon. I have 5 more minutes before the nails are fully dry.
Tyrannosaurus was even bigger and meaner.
And just as poorly drawn.
Triceratops had better watch out.
T-Rex is known for running like dorks. So T-Rex was primarily about kicking like a 5-year-old.
You'll have to find his meal somewhere else.
Don't point him towards me, you dick!
Dinosaurs escaped because the others didn't get far from the water. That was smart.
Nothing dangerous in prehistoric water.
During the age of the dinosaurs, the earth was warm and wet, and there was lots of food.
Much like my stomach.
As the earth grew older, all we do know for sure is that when the last dinosaur had died, a new age, the age of mammals, had begun.
Starring whatever the hell this thing is.
Kings of the Earth!
While very forgettable on its own, this short is great when riffed, and it gets a 4 out of 5.
They lived mostly in the water, where they floated like big fat ships.
Like fat ships filled with cargoes of fat, just as fat as...
Okay.
As always, thank y'all so much for watching, and special thanks to all of my beautiful Patreon supporters, including Jackie Ball, Kevin Nata, Victor Cordova, and Tony G. I am so excited, guys, because in a week, less than a week from now, I will be out of school finally with my bachelor's degree. And after I get my degree, I'll actually have a couple months off until after my Disney vacation. So if you guys have any ideas for videos, let me know and I'll see what I can do about them in the next couple months. Thanks again, and I'll see you guys later. This is another nightmarish PSA in Canada's repertoire. Number 172, The Fish That Nearly Drowned, from April 10th, 2012. That was terrible, I need a drink of water. After both getting scared off, the short gets all I can't say the word existential. After both getting scared off, the short gets all existential. Oh my gosh, this word is impossible. Existential. Oh my gosh. Don't write words you can't read. The two start throwing hands, and when not particularly, oh my gosh, I can't even read.